Man, so I saw a great interview with Bill Haney. Basically, he did a interview with another media outlet, one that I'm familiar with. As you guys know, I don't say names, but shout out to that media outlet. And basically, he revealed that Lomachenko basically really did literally try to appeal his decision, in which he lost a 12th round unanimous decision to Devin Haney. At the end of the day, Lomachenko is going to have to accept his loss and just be a man about it. The more Lomachenko, you know, just basically whines and cries about it, the worse off he looked. Lomachenko is just going to have to accept the fact, look, man, you lost, man. Devin beat you. Move on, regroup, get back in the ring as soon as possible and build yourself up. You know, like I said, I've watched that fight at least 3 times. I've watched the fight with the sound off and reevaluating the situation. Now I do understand why one judge went 8-4 in favor of Devin Haney. And Julio Cesar Chavez said it best. Julio Cesar Chavez said it best that people can't be feeling sentimental for Lomachenko, which means basically he basically is verifying what I was saying about how they basically presented the broadcast to people that was watching and who had ordered the pay-per-view. That it was all about making Lomachenko the sympathetic figure going into this fight and making Devin Haney the villain. And like I said, I feel like that's not fair to Devin Haney, because at the end of the day, I'm just going to keep it real. Devin, if you're listening to this video, you don't have to be the villain, because that's the problem. Too many times the black man and the black fighter is vilified when it's compared to these non-black fighters. And you should refuse to accept that title. I can't tell you what to do, but that's just my advice to you. And no disrespect to your father, Bill. I consider Bill a friend, but no, I'm tired of black fighters saying that they have to be the bad guy. We're the bad guys outside of boxing. We're the bad guys in real life. Because anything negative affiliated with society, they love to stick that label on black people. Look what happened with Danny Masterson. Nobody has said next to nothing what happened with Danny Masterson, but then they can't stop talking about Bill Cosby. So no, Devin, you should not accept the bad guy role, because you're not a bad guy. At the end of the day, Bill raised you outside of Oakland. He took you out of Oakland and he set it up for you to live a good life and live a safe life. So you don't have to take that persona off as being the bad guy. No, don't do it. And I highly recommend that to every fighter. That's just one of the stigmas that bothers me sometimes about Floyd, this persona. And no, I'm tired of black fighters saying that they have to be the bad guy. No, you don't have to be the bad guy. Be exactly who you are, a fighter that comes into the ring to fight and try to win fights and go home and relaxes and gets prepared for the next fight. So no, I wouldn't accept that label as a bad guy because you won the fight. Because you can make that argument about Lomachenko based off reports that you're hearing about Lomachenko, where basically some people feel in Ukraine that Lomachenko is lightweight a traitor because they say Lomachenko is too friendly with the Russians. So I don't really want to go. I really don't want to spend too much time talking about that. But just the fact that Lomachenko and his team tried to appeal that decision and try to get it overturned and made into possibly a victory for Lomachenko or a no contest, I think that's just absurd. There is not enough evidence there. It's not even remotely enough evidence to overturn that decision. And you bandwagon Lomachenko fans, or should I say you secret racists, I'm going to say this again. Lomachenko lost. He got beat. I told you I'm not here to be politically correct, and I'm not finna sit up here and jump on this bandwagon just so I can get views and so people can subscribe to my channel because they want me to constantly go in on black fighters or fighters like Devin to try to get views and try to boost up Lomachenko. Lomachenko gonna have to build his newfound fan base without the help of Town Business Sports and Entertainment because I'm not here for that. I've said this first. I'm a black man beyond anything else. And like I said before, it's just time. Just time, man. I ain't even tripping off Nelly and Boosie. Lil Boosie is the biggest hypocrite out there. This dude always sitting up talking about the code of the streets, but yet he always doing interviews with a well-known documented informant, and you know who. And then Nelly, he was just sitting up there, grandstanding and cooning and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I wasn't the biggest Julio Cesar Chavez fan, but Julio Cesar Chavez had Devin Haney winning that fight. And he basically broke down why Devin Haney won the fight in this same way that I explained why Devin Haney won the fight, fighting out the front foot and forcing the action and going forward. And let's really get to the meat and potatoes. Another reason why Devin Haney slowed down those last 3 rounds, keep in mind, which nobody wants to talk about, why he was a little hesitant, is because remember, Harvey Dock threatened to take a point from him for so-called excessive holding and grabbing and rabbit punching, which Devin Haney wasn't doing. Lomachenko was leaning on Devin Haney's neck, but he didn't hardly say nothing to Lomachenko. Now, I'm not saying that Harvey Dock was being unfair to Devin Haney, but at the end of the day, Lomachenko did kind of plant that seed. And once Harvey Dock said that, well, you got to be careful or I'll take away a point. So Devin Haney, he had to readjust because Devin Haney's plan so far was working. So nobody wants to talk about that. I'm one of the very few people that brought that up. And that's another reason why Devin Haney stopped sort of fighting the way he was fighting. Because one thing in a close fight, you don't want to get a point taken away. And if Devin Haney would have got a point taken away, then guess what? That fight is in all likely a draw, a majority draw. So can we just stop it? I know what I'm talking about. So, Lomachenko gonna have to, and I say this again, Lomachenko has to accept his loss. You got to be a man, dude. You lost. You got beat. You now have 3 losses. And you can make an argument you should have 4 losses because a lot of people have really came to the conclusion after watching your fight before Devin Haney that you lost to Jermaine Ortiz, and that you can make an argument that you lost to Jermaine Ortiz. Keep in mind, Coach Bullitt even said that. See, that's another conversation people don't want to have. Lomachenko, you can make an argument that Lomachenko lost to Jermaine Ortiz because once again, he got started very late in the fight. Once again, Lomachenko gives away the first half of the fight, and then he tries to rally towards the end. So this is to his own doing. He needs to just stop this and just move on. You really tried to appeal that decision, bro. You looking real weak right now. But that's what Bill said. Just starting to lose a lot of respect for Vasyl Lomachenko and his team. Now, it's funny. Had Lomachenko won a close decision, I might have would have said, hey, I thought Devin Haney did enough to win the fight, but I would have just went on. I'm not going to sit up here and say I wouldn't have said, listen, I wouldn't have said it was a robbery either way. Even if Lomachenko would have won a narrow decision, because I understand, because Lomachenko did have a nice little rally like towards the last quarter of the fight, but he visibly and clearly lost the 12th round. He lost the 12th round. And that basically secured Devin Haney to fight. So this is why people, like I said, got to stop exposing themselves. Well, they don't have to stop. I'm kind of glad that people are just exposing themselves for who they are, because most people, like I said before, they went into that fight rooting for Lomachenko. They were against Devin Haney to begin with, and then ESPN, American-owned broadcasting network, where the parent company is Disney, just appeared to be very biased in favor of Lomachenko. Keep talking about what was going on in Ukraine, the narrations and stuff that was just put together. Now, I know Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley didn't see it because they were calling the fight, but hopefully I could get some answers this weekend or leading up to this fight that's coming up this weekend with Josh Taylor and Teofimo Lopez, which is going to be a fire fight. It's going to be a firefight. It's going to be an explosive fight. And I'm almost damn near willing to bet that this fight ain't going the distance. So like I said before, to think that Lomachenko actually tried to appeal this decision, and according to Bill Haney, that they lost, it just goes to show you that they think that the right person won the fight, that there was not enough there to overturn that fight. But anyway, I just wanted to say that and get ready for the next subject. I'll be back in maybe around 20 minutes, but that's it. That's all. Thank you for listening. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.